Right, it's generational Satanism. And they have to operate also within bloodlines because of the way that they carry out their mind control. They make program DID, or what was commonly known for a couple hundred years as multiple personality disorder. They program their members with MPD, and in order to do that, you have to have someone who will disassociate when they're traumatized rather than die. There's three things you can do when you're severely traumatized. You can just curl up and die, or you can go crazy, or you can have the creativity and the disassociative abilities to splinter the mind into a multiple. And they want that ability. It's essential because the satanic rituals that they carry out, which are horrendous traditional rituals, blood sacrifices, requires a certain level of insanity and disassociative ability. In other words, what I'm getting at is if you were a normal, sane person and you had to participate in the higher level Illuminati rituals, you'd probably go crazy without the programming and the MPD that they carry out. So it's absolutely essential that they maintain the bloodlines.
Okay, Fritz, now when you talk about blood sacrifice, what do you mean? Are you talking about chickens or goats or something like that?
No. Unfortunately, I'm talking about human sacrifices. This is, you go throughout the world and you examine the different cultures, and you'll find that human sacrifice has been fairly widespread. And these powerful families have always felt that they gained power and through sacrificing other people.
So you're saying that the blood sacrifice that we've read or heard about throughout the history books has never actually stopped? It's just gone into secret?
That's right. Correct.
That's very incredible. Now, Fritz, in the book Bloodlines of the Illuminati, you point out that 13 families are in control of the Illuminati structure. But in your book, you list 14 families. Could you explain this a little bit?
Sure. They themselves decided that they would have 13 families, or really maybe a more descriptive word would be tribes. And it's my understanding that the reason why they chose the number 13, besides its magical implications, is also it's in mockery of what God had done, because as you know, there were 12 tribes, and then Ephraim and Manasseh were added, which were split off of the tribe of Joseph, which gave you 13 tribes of Israel. And so in mockery of that, then they have chosen 13 satanic bloodlines. But in working with people that were in the Illuminati and helping people get out of the Illuminati, I've gotten a fairly good handle on what last surnames they use. And although there's hundreds of, say for instance, Rothschilds in the United States, most of the descendants of the Rothschilds have other surnames. And so when I say bloodlines, that's more descriptive of families. And there are certain families within the entire context of the Illuminati that have become powerful in themselves, but aren't labeled by them as one of the top 13. And as there's a continual power struggle between everybody within the hierarchy, you have some factions that become more powerful, and as those families become more powerful, they deserve recognition of their own. So I listed the Reynolds and the Krupp family Actually, I listed 2 extra besides the 13, the Reynolds and the Krupp family, because from the inside information I had gotten, they were very powerful.
So what you're saying is that the families that are the top 13 families right now were not the top 13 families, say, of maybe 200 years ago, or even as far back as 1,000 years ago, that as these Illuminati families struggle for power within their own system, they replace some families with others and vice versa.
Yeah, I believe that that process is ongoing. But I also believe that beyond just having the 13 families that they have listed as important or the top, they also, in a sense, recognize the power of other families. For instance, Bill Clinton has become very powerful in his own right. So, or the George Bush family. So, although they are descendants of these 13 tribes, they in themselves now, in this time period, are worthy of special focus or mention.
Okay, Fritz. Well, we talked a little bit about the Illuminati structure. Could you briefly explain how this structure is set up?
Yes, it's a pyramid structure. There's 2 basic levels in the Illuminati. There's the anarchy level. In one of my books, I listed hundreds of satanic covens and their addresses across the United States. I mean, there were so many that I listed, numerous pages, that I haven't gone through and counted how many hundreds of addresses of different covens. And these are very eclectic, and besides these witchcraft covens, there's other lodge systems and other things also on the anarchy level. On the anarchy level, you can't discern any pattern because everybody believes differently. Then there's 3 levels within the anarchy level. As you know, there's 3 levels to witchcraft. And then the next level are is the hierarchy level, which also has basically 3 levels to it. Although within those 3 levels there's ranks and grades, and above that there are councils that you can belong to that have special powers, and there's also special ranks and grades above those 3 basic grades. But yeah, it's basically anarchy level and hierarchy level with 3 levels to each of those.
Now, how does this structure basically control, or why should we even be worried about the Illuminati? If